Nordson Corporation is proud to continue to invest in educational opportunities through our sponsorship of Academic Challenge. Nordson is a global leader in precision technology solutions with a long and proud history of giving back to the communities where we live and work. Each year, we donate 5% of our U.S. pre-tax profits to charitable endeavors, prioritizing programs that support STEM education, human welfare, and arts and culture. To date, Nordson and the Nordson Corporation Foundation have donated nearly $173 million to charities, awarded $7.5 million in scholarships, and our employees have logged more than 117,000 volunteer hours. Thank you for watching Academic Challenge. Best of luck to all the participants.
Today, teams from
Hillsdale, Garfield, Marlington!
Oh, they meet this morning on the Nordson Academic Challenge. Here we go, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. I'm Rob Powers. We are so glad you could be with us today. The challenge of the show, very simple. For the next 30 minutes, 3 teams will be tested on their knowledge of subjects like math, science, history, a few others as well. So one more time, let's hear it for today's teams from Hillsdale, James A. Garfield, and Marlington. Today's winner will be the team with the highest point total at the end of our game. Here are the standings as of right now. These are the scores to beat to be one of this season's 3 highest scoring teams. Those 3 schools then will be back to play in our 56th championship game for the chance to win our top prize, a $6,000 grant for their school awarded by our friends at Nordson. All right, we're going to get things started where we start every Saturday morning. It's time for the lightning round. All 3 teams compete in this round. I asked 10 questions. They all have a common theme. We award 20 points for a correct answer, but we will take away 20 points for an incorrect or no answer. Let's start every team right now with 100 points. Everybody ready? We are going to brighten your day. These questions are all about color. Color. Identify the following. This color names China's second longest river. Hillsdale.
Yellow.
That is correct. The color purple is a novel by this woman. Marlington.
Alice Walker.
That is correct. The 1547 Battle of Pinkie saw the defeat of this country, whose capital is Edinburgh. Answer is Scotland. The Joy Luck Club is a novel by this woman. Answer is Amy Tan. A Florida football bowl is named for this color citrus fruit. Marlington.
Orange.
That is correct. Scott Odell wrote The Island of this color dolphins. Answer?
White.
Garfield.
White.
Blue. Blue is the answer there, sorry. He wrote The Red Badge of Courage. Answer is Stephen Crane. This color identifies the 1954 Supreme Court school desegregation decision. Hillsdale.
Brown.
That is correct. He wrote The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oscar Wilde.
That is correct. Joining us for our final lightning round question today is the president and CEO of the Great Lakes Science Center. It's Kirsten Ellenbogen.
In a flame test, copper emits this verdant color.
Marlington?
Blue.
Green is the answer there. Sorry about that, but that's the end of our round. We're in a tight game. That's how we start. That's how we play. We'll be back for the second round of today's game right after this quick timeout. Welcome back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. If you would like more information about any of the schools that appear this season, scan the QR code you see there in the upper right-hand corner of your screen with your cell phone. That code takes you to the news5cleveland.com Academic Challenge page. We have links for all of our season schools right there for you. Time now to play Hot Picks. One at a time, I ask each team 8 questions selected by the captain of another team. A correct answer here is worth 20 points. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 8 questions correctly will receive 25 bonus points. But before we get to the questions, let's meet our players. We start with Hillsdale. Keith, you're the captain. Congratulations. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Keith. I'm a freshman, and I'm part of band and choir.
Good for you, and welcome this morning. Gracelyn, good morning.
Morning. My name is Gracelyn, and I am a sophomore. I am also part of band and choir.
Good for you. Welcome this morning. Zachary, you're up.
My name is Zach. I'm a freshman, and I am part of Student Council and Kindness Club.
Good for you, all 3 of you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you very much. For your questions, we go to Chloe, the captain for James A. Garfield. Chloe, envelope 1, 2, 3, or 4?
3.
You got it. All right, Hillsdale. These questions are all for you. All set? Here we go. 7-Up Pete is the effervescent name of a Montana mine that produces what precious metal whose symbol is AU?
Gold.
That is correct. Discovered in the 19th century, asteroid number 56 was named for what mythical Greek woman who opened a box and let trouble loose in the world?
Pandora.
That is correct. The distinction of being the mummy with the most tattoos, 61 in all, goes to Ötzi the Iceman, whose remains were found in what highest European mountain range?
The Andes.
The Alps. The Alps is the answer there. Sorry, let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. Which one of these processes is commonly used for the manufacture of synthetic rubber?
Polymerization.
That is correct. Farmers now put their faith in technology rather than trust the whims of what classical goddess of agriculture?
Demeter.
That is correct. Yes, it is. Or Ceres we would have taken. What British author created an alien named Ford Prefect, who was picked up by a spaceship called the Heart of Gold in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Answer is Douglas Adams. That's okay. We're back at the monitor. Here's our math question. Evaluate this expression. Give your answer as a positive integer. Answer?
110.
110 is correct and just in time. What American naval hero of the Revolutionary War lost his own ship but captured the British ship Serapis in 1779? Answer is John Paul Jones, Hillsdale. Nice round. Good job. All righty. Our second team this morning comes from James A. Garfield. Chloe, you've been waiting to talk to us. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Chloe. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I do theater, and I play the drums in my school band.
Good for you. Welcome this morning. Hi, Colin.
Hi. I'm Colin. I'm a sophomore, and I am in band, and I'm also partaking in the theater.
Good for you. Xavier, you are up.
Hi, my name's Xavier, and I'm a sophomore, and I've been doing theater since I was in 7th grade.
Good for you. Welcome to all three of you this morning. For your questions, James A. Garfield, Riley, you're going to pick 1, 2, or 4.
2.
You got it. All right, James A. Garfield, these are all for you. Set? Here we go. The completion of the Transcontinental Telegraph Line in 1861 ended what horseback postal service that had extended from Missouri to California?
United States Postal Service.
The Pony Express was the answer there. Sorry. Historians have never figured out whether it was murder or suicide in 1809 that took the life of what man who had explored the Louisiana Territory with William Clark?
Meriwether Lewis.
That is correct. During the 1680 Pueblo Revolt, Pueblo Indians drove the Spanish out of what settlement that is now the capital of New Mexico?
Santa Fe.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here is your science question. The process of transpiration, by which green plants lose excess water occurs through holes called stomata, located on which part of the plant?
Leaves.
That is correct. A class trip to historic Virginia would no doubt include a visit to what municipality where Cornwallis surrendered in the last battle of the American Revolution?
Yorktown.
That is correct. One of the first writers to earn a large fortune from his work was what American whose money-making novels include The Call of the Wild?
Jack London.
That is correct. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. Reduce this fraction to lowest terms, giving your answer as a positive integer. Answer? 2. There we go. The passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act was one of the important achievements of what 36th president? Answer?
JFK.
LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson. Nice round, Garfield. There you go. All righty, and that takes us to our third team this morning. It's Marlington. It's time for Riley to tell us about yourself.
I'm Riley. I'm a junior, and I'd like to shout out our alternates, Chloe, Cushy, and Aaron.
Good for you. Hi, Becky.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm a senior, and I'd like to shout out our advisor, Mrs. Keene.
Good for you. And that brings us to Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm a junior, and I do choir and theater at Marlington.
Thank you for being here this morning. All 9 of you, thank you for being here this morning. All 3 teams, great to see you. For your questions, Marlington, we come down to Keith from Hillsdale. Keith, 1 or 4?
1.
You got it. All right, Marlington, these are all for you. All set? Here we go. Voyager 1 was aided in its journey to interstellar space by a phenomenon called the slingshot effect, caused by the gravity of what largest planet?
Jupiter.
That is correct. 2025 marks the 125th anniversary of the publication of what L. Frank Baum book that introduced us to Dorothy Gale and her dog Toto.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, it is. One of the most common last names in the U.S. is what 5-letter last name shared by the Jamestown captain whose life was supposedly saved by Pocahontas?
Smith.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. The skeletal phenomenon in birds known as the wishbone corresponds most closely to which of these bones in a human?
Clavicle.
That is it. The 1840s belief that the United States was naturally supposed to reach the Pacific Ocean was given what 2-word name?
No answer.
Manifest Destiny was the answer there. That's okay. Promises to Keep, a novel by George Burnett, borrowed its title from a line in Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by what New England poet?
Frost.
That is correct. Let's go back to the monitor. Here's your math question. What is the value of this expression? Give your answer as a positive integer.
5.
That is correct. In 1800, a slave named Gabriel led a 1,000-man revolt, creating a crisis for what Virginia governor, later our 5th president?
Monroe.
That is correct, and that's the end of our round. Nice job, everybody. Here we go. It is tight. We'll be back with more academic excitement right after this. Welcome back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. Let's welcome today's guest judge from Cuyahoga Community College, Daniel Safko. Daniel, thanks for being here, man. It's great to see you this morning. For the rest of us, it's time for our picture-perfect round. All 3 teams compete in this round. I ask 8 questions. Every one of them has a visual element. For every correct answer, we award 20 points, but for a wrong or no answer, we take away 20 points. So everybody, hands on the buzzers, eyes on the big monitor down front. All set? Here we go. Here, you see American troops on what day in 1944 as they approached Omaha Beach during the Normandy Hillsdale?
D-Day.
That is correct. This young woman was painted by her husband, what 17th century Flemish artist whose first 2 names were Peter Paul? Answer? Last name is Rubens. Rubens. This nebula is found in Vulpecula, a constellation named for what animal who in an ancient Greek fable whined about sour grapes? Answer? Marlington?
A fox.
A fox is correct. What is the x-coordinate of the focus of this parabola? Answer? Yeah, me neither. 0, 0. These snowy woods can be seen in the movie version of what Tolstoy novel whose 500 characters include Natasha and Price Andre? James A. Garfield?
Anna Karenina.
War and Peace is the answer there. Sorry. Spain's palace in Madrid was built by the Spanish branch of what royal dynasty with a whiskey-like name? Answer is Bourbon. Bourbon. This is an 1874 painting of the railway station in what capital city of California? Marlington.
Sacramento.
That is correct. Basketball is front and center in this issue of Cleveland Magazine, bringing to mind the sport's creator, James Naismith. Though the first game was played in Massachusetts, he was born in which country whose capital is Ottawa? James A. Garfield?
Canada.
That is correct, and that's the end of that round. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. We're going to mix it up right after this. Welcome back. Let's meet our hardworking advisors from Hillsdale, Dr. Tom Selvage. From James A. Garfield, Ivor Walker is here this morning. And from Marlington, Catherine Keene is here. Hey, all season long, our advisors have been great. Thank you for being here today. All right, time for us now to mix it up. One at a time, I ask each team 6 questions. A correct response here is worth 20 points. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 6 questions correctly in this round will receive 25 bonus points. Hillsdale, you are up first. All set? Here we go. Actually, all you need here to use is your eyes. See if you can find hidden in this phrase the name of what space telescope?
The Hubble.
That is correct. A person who is adamant can best be described by which of these adjectives?
Unyielding.
That is correct. These are 2 of the 4 men who signed what famous shipboard compact in November of 1620? Answer is the Mayflower Compact. That's okay. To complete this quotation, add the name of what colorfully named Middle East sea, whose waters were parted by Moses.
Red.
That is correct. Which one of these lofty peaks is the 2nd highest mountain in the world?
K2.
That is correct. These were the words of Daisy Bates, a civil rights leader who led the effort to desegregate schools in what Arkansas capital city?
Little Rock.
That is correct. Nice round, Hillsdale. There you go. That gets us to James A. Garfield. These are all for you. All set? Here we go. You can jump in and win 20 points if you find in this phrase what mathematical constant that equals 3.14159.
Pi.
That is correct. Which of these words best describes someone who is frugal?
Thrifty.
That is correct. These are the Finnish and Czech words for what basic carpentry tool whose short-handled version was carried by the Norse god Thor?
Hammer.
That is correct. Complete this remark from basketball great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar by adding the name of what baseball player who broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball? Answer is Jackie Robinson. Which one of these 3 deserts is located in southern Africa?
Kalahari.
That is correct. This was the view of what English researcher better known for his scientific book Origin of Species than for dramatic criticism? Go ahead.
Darwin?
Darwin's correct. Way to go. That's the end of your round. Nicely done. Okay. That gets us to Marlington. All of these are all for you. Ready to roll? Here we go. Artistic ability is nice, but see if you can find in this phrase the term for detecting underwater objects using sound waves or echolocation.
Sonar.
That is correct. Which of these adjectives best describes someone who is contemplative and reflective?
Pensive.
That is correct. These words title a biography of what feared Russian czar nicknamed the Terrible?
Nicholas II.
Oh, it's Ivan IV. Sorry. You can complete this 1978 political observation from writer Arthur Koestler by adding what German city then divided by a wall?
Berlin.
That is correct. Which of these 3 rivers borders North Korea?
Tiber.
Yalu, sorry. This is what Robert Livingston said when he signed what 1803 purchase agreement that greatly expanded the territory of the United States?
Louisiana.
That is correct. That's the end of that round, and we have a good one. We'll be back with our final and deciding grab bag round right after this. Let's go. Time for the grab bag round. All 3 teams compete in this round. I ask as many questions as time allows. For every correct answer, we award 30 points. Team will lose 30 points for a wrong or no answer. This is for all 3 teams. So hands on the buzzers, eyes on the monitor when we need it. All set? This is it. None of our states has the letter Q in its name, but there are 2 Qs in the name of what largest city in New Mexico? Marlington.
Albuquerque.
That is correct. Though he proposed to his second wife in Morse code and nicknamed his first two children Dot and Dash, what American is better known as the creator of the incandescent light bulb than telegraphy? James A. Garfield?
Edison.
Edison is the answer there. I'm sorry, it's Edison. The 1781 Battle of Cowpens occurred in what southern state that was later the first to secede? James A. Garfield.
North Carolina. Sorry.
One more time.
North Carolina.
South Carolina is the answer there. Sorry. In this photo of a Soviet Party Congress, the man in uniform is what Russian cosmonaut, the first man to orbit the Earth? Answer is Yuri Gagarin. Though he once resigned a judgeship because he objected to capital punishment, what French Revolution leader known as the Incorruptible was responsible for much of the Reign of Terror? Marlington.
Robespierre.
Robespierre is correct. That's the end of our game. We go to the scoreboard from there. What a game! In third place today with 240 points, James A. Garfield. In second place with 360 points, it's Hillsdale. And the winner of today's academic challenge with 440 points, it's Marlington. All right. Tune in 1 week from today, and we will see three teams battle it out to be the next champion of the Nordson Academic Challenge, now in season number 56. Thanks for watching this one. I'm Rob Powers. Study hard. We'll see you right back here for our championship game.